Welcome to the Not Superheroes Gets Dads podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot lasers or pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundations for our families, be present for our kids, and combat generational cycles. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing, the barbecue, is. Hello, I'm Sean Laurie. I hope you guys are having an amazing, blessed day today. Like always, guys, before we dive into it, right, make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Again, I always appreciate the messages, the support. It's always encouraging. Now, with that being said, I got this cool guy over here. Anthony, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, brother. I'm doing real good. I can't complain too much.
That's good, man. So what I like to do a lot of times is icebreaker. So obviously, we're both in DBA. For those that don't know, it's like a travel ball league travel ball league basically for basketball. So, what I guess my icebreaker is what got you to DBA, and then my second one is, did you have a passion for basketball, or was that more so your son?
Oh man. Okay, so I'll start with the first one
Okay.
because one of my other passions led me to getting into this passion. So it
Mm,
just so happened. I don't know what Dean's title is. I guess he's like the tournament coordinator or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
But Coach Dean,
yeah.
I just happened to be playing golf with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just happened to tee up together. I was a solo, and usually when you're a solo, you wonder, man, please don't let me play with nobody weird,
Yeah.
and all that. And so Dean and he was with another guy, and so we were playing at Cedar Creek, or one of the Alamo Golf Trails or whatever. And we just happened to get to talking about basketball, and I told him, man, I have a son. Right now he's playing NYS. I'm not too excited about it. And he's like, man, you should bring him to DBA. And so like I'm in my own cart, so I'm looking up DBA, and I'm like, oh man, that's who that is. I kind of know who that person is. I know
Yeah.
who Doc was and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't we didn't immediately go to it.
Mhm.
We kind of played out the NYS thing for a little bit,
Okay.
and but then we finally jumped into DBA full circle. I asked Daniel. I was like, hey man, if you're gonna be really committed to this, we're gonna do it. 'Cause it's a lot. It's not like a cheap thing or anything like that. So you got to be really committed. And he was like, nah, I really want to play. He had gained a passion for it as well.
That's dope.
So that was really good. And he was okay. And I remember the first practice when we first brought him over there, like he went with his grade level, and then you and Lamar were like, nah, he's not ready yet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's probably not ready yet. Um, and so y'all sent him with the lower kids, and I had no issues with that.
Yeah.
Like I was like, no, he needs to learn and get better. And
Yeah.
once he gets masters all the drills and a formalized practice and everything like that, he'll be straight. And you guys and the program in general has done like amazing with him, and he's like, it's night and day
That's
how he's
crazy.
gotten, and so
Yeah,
it's
'cause
really
now
good.
he's one of my leaders now, so it's just crazy how that how
Yeah,
that took place, man. So you
it's
know,
crazy.
but salute to you, man, because that is sometimes difficult for us as parents, right? Like, hold on, like, what do you mean he needs to develop on this side right now? Like, no, he needs to be over here, right? And so you understood, like, hey, okay, long term, this is short term, right? This is
Oh,
going
for
to help
sure.
you, and then long term, you're going to be where you need to be at. So that's dope, man. And I know you work with them too. I be seeing you get them.
Oh man, yeah. So that brings me to the second question, right? Like, was it just something he just got into? No, man. I played basketball all growing up, man. I
Mhm.
was like one of the smaller kids out of my cousins. Like Hispanic families got a bit, they got a whole bunch of cousins, and so we all grew up, went to elementary school, and after school we go to my grandparents' house, and they had a basketball hoop in the back, and I wasn't the youngest one, but I was the smallest one.
Okay.
And man, they be beating me down and all that stuff. And that was all fine and dandy. But
Yeah.
I lived with my grandparents. Me and my mom lived with my grandparents at the time, and so
Mm,
I got up extra shots and stuff like that. And so I'd be outside when the light was on, and it was cool. And so I eventually got better than them, and I started like beating the crap out of them. It was great, and like they would
that's
be physical with me. We all like that's what's crazy. I know we've talked about it before. Once they get to a certain grade, everybody kind of like levels out on their height and everything like that. So once I did that with my cousins, they ain't want no parts of it. And so I'm originally from Dallas. I went to a private school called Bishop Dunn,
Mm.
and and so I played a little bit there. My grades weren't the best, so I was always ineligible and all that stuff. And so, but I always played on the outside. We had like a church league and stuff like that, and we actually did really, really good. Um, but yeah, man, I've always loved basketball. I play football as well, but basketball was like my love. Like I could play it all the time,
That's
like
dope.
nonstop. In the Texas Heat, it didn't matter. It didn't matter who it was. I was rolling.
He said
And
it didn't
so
matter to me. Texas born, boy.
yeah, my dad who raised me, my stepdad, he's from Philly, and so he was like he was almost 6'3",
Oh
and so
no.
I knew if I was taking him out in the backyard and giving it to him, I could easily like anybody my size, no
Yeah.
problem. I'm not even looking at you. And so that's just how I was raised, man. I was raised tough, and I tried to get Daniel that way. Like, hey, man, you gotta be physical, be tough, mentally strong, know the game. I think that's the biggest part that I work with Daniel on is like before we get to practice, I say, hey, what do you want to get better on? Like, what's going to be our focus today? And then after practice, I'm like, hey, how do you think you did? What do you think you could have worked
Mm.
on? And things like that. It's like a pregame and postgame stuff with him, just so I know he's mentally locked in and mentally like ready to do certain things and understands what's going on in the game and why you got to do this or that, not just
Like
like,
that, bro.
hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's
Nah,
fun.
I like that, bro. So, well, you did mention, growing up in Dallas, and I think you told me too you have like four siblings, right?
And yeah, yeah.
So, like, how was that? Like I don't know if they're all with all if you guys all have the same
It's
parents.
all different.
Oh,
It's
all
all different.
different.
I'll
Okay.
explain it. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. So then how having that different, I guess, parent combination or combination of siblings, whatever, how was that like for you growing up?
okay, so yeah, I'll explain the siblings. So, obviously, my mom and my dad had me. My mom had me when she was like 17 years old.
Okay.
My dad was a little bit older, a couple years older. First kid from both of them. And then I'll just go with my mom's kids first. I'll start with my mom's kids. um, and so it was me, and then my mom ended up getting remarried after her and my dad separated. I was probably around like 8 years old,
Okay.
and my stepdad, Michael, um, he had a daughter already named Tyler, and so I didn't even count her. Well, I did count her. So my sister Tyler, um, and she's like 5 years. She was 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
And then they eventually had a son, my brother Chris, who looks just like his dad. Um, and then my mom and my stepdad Michael eventually got divorced. And then probably I was already 21 when this happened,
Oh
so
dang.
I was older. It
Yeah.
was my mom had another son with her husband Daryl, and yeah, I was already 21. There's a bigger age difference between me and my brother than there is between me and my mom,
Dang, that's
which
crazy.
is crazy, right?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And so in our house, and then I have my real dad, my biological father. He had a daughter. She's probably about the same age as my sister Tyler.
Okay.
Um, but we don't really talk. She don't really mess with me because
Okay.
I was doing the big brother thing and trying to get her to do a certain thing in her life. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
you have, I don't know if you have younger siblings or
Yeah.
not, but
Yeah. Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
see them like just
They want to do their
treading,
own thing.
yeah, when you see them treading water, you're like, hey, why don't you do this? This is working for me.
Yeah.
Like it's good. And we can get into that part in a little bit.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is when I try to get her to go to the Air Force.
Okay. Okay.
And so she was like, nah, why are you trying to tell me what to do? So there was a rift there. We weren't always the closest, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
Um,
course.
but I
I.
think what was I think
Okay.
what was really cool about my family was we never used the title stepsister, stepbrother, stepfather, stepson, or anything like that. It was I always called my stepdad Michael until he passed away, which is really weird. And I started calling him dad. But anytime I would talk about him, I'd be like, "This is my dad." And
Mm.
anytime he would talk about me, he'd be like, "This is my son." And so, like, I always felt like that was really dope of him. And I mean, just our family dynamic, it was
Yeah.
very inclusive and stuff like that. And people would look at us crazy because my stepdad was black, and they be like, "This is my son Anthony," and I'm all Hispanic, and they're like, hold on,"
Like, wait,
and
what?
so, and so they normally people wouldn't ask; they would just look at you crazy, but we
Right.
would laugh about it later. So yeah, it's funny, and
Well, it's funny you say that too because growing up similar, it's all together. It's a lot of us. It's like 10 or something crazy like that, right? But mostly our step like through marriage. But I same thing. I don't call like that's my brother, that's my sister.
for
Like I
sure.
don't. So it's just funny you say that. Yeah, it's just kind of funny how you say that because I'm like, dang, I can relate to that because it's the same thing. Like, and then you do have those siblings that you don't talk to because whatever they're doing their own thing or whatever. Like, okay, cool. So I definitely can relate to that. So I wanted to ask you then because obviously your biological father and then your stepfather who you call dad as well. I guess which one was, or maybe both, were they both like very impactful in your life? And then that's the first question. And then the second question is how did being raised basically by a black father while being Hispanic like kind of shape your I don't know if identity but just your the way you kind of view things or think on certain things.
Okay, so what was the first question
I
again?
know that was sorry. I know that was
I'm
a
sorry, you good, bro?
no no. So the first question is basically well we'll focus on the first question first. The first question is
Okay.
um who like who was more not impactful? Were you basically raised by your biological father and your
Okay, I got you.
stepfather?
Okay,
Or
so you said how were they impactful, right? Okay,
yes.
so they were impactful for very different reasons. Okay,
Okay.
so so my biological father actually recently passed away, probably like in April, which
Oh dang.
cool. Like I'm actually like at ease with it because he had a stroke and he was bedridden for years, and
Oh
so
dang.
let's rewind that relationship real quick. But
Yeah.
so my biological father, I know he loved me. I know like I meant a lot to him. I know that there, and I've realized this as you grow up, like as a man, you kind of gain empathy for people as you get older because you start to understand more. Everybody goes through their situations, and not everything is always like cookie cutter, right? And this is probably one thing that I've learned as a father myself is there's no manual to this. Like we are literally freestyling this based off of our experiences, what we've seen, and things like that. We are literally out here just doing what we can, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And so um, my dad was in and out of prison. There was he had issues with alcohol and stuff like that. There was drugs out there as well, um, but his big thing was alcohol. And in a way, it was a blessing that he wasn't like around like that because I don't necessarily know exactly how my life would have turned out
Mm-hmm.
as far as if I was around that type of environment. Not saying it was a bad environment or he was a bad person. Um, there were just things that I had seen the small times I was there that weren't always like the most conducive to being raised in like I guess there wasn't a lot of positivity.
Yeah.
Um, but my family over there, my Luna side, like I love them. They're amazing people. It's like a very loving family and all that stuff. Um, so like I said, my parents were divorced, but even though my dad was away and my parents were divorced, my mom still like would take me over to my grandparents' house and see them and visit them. And I'm still very close to a lot of my family members. So that was really good.
Yeah.
Um, that was really good. But my dad kind of showed me like, hey, don't go down this route. Don't be an alcoholic. Don't do
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. And luckily before he passed away, I was able to really talk to him and say, hey, I forgive you for all your stuff like that you went through. I forgive you for not being there. The times that I would have liked you to be there. Like I remember one time, I would never forget this. It was like I was hooping. I was playing basketball. I was probably like in the fifth or sixth grade actually, and my mom had dropped me off. She was like, "Your dad's supposed to pick you up," and everything like that. And I played my game. Kids always looking up at the stands like, "Where's my parent at?" and everything like that. Bro, he never showed up. Like, luckily, one of my friend's dad was like, "What's going on? Where's your parent at? Or where's your dad at?" And he never. I don't know why he never showed up or anything like that. I just know somebody had to take me to my house down the street. So um, that's also one reason why I want to be present with Daniel. Like just going through that experience, I never want my son to look to the side and I'm supposed to be there and I'm not there. And
Mm.
so it's things like that that like change your behavior as a father and things like that. So it's really that was really impactful time. I remember the gym, I remember the uniform, everything about that time. So I still have no hard feelings toward him.
Yeah.
Like he was a great guy. He had my name tatted on him and everything like that. It was a prison tat, respectfully. And so you can tell because the colors.
Yeah.
So I know all that stuff. I know
Yeah.
about all that. And so let's get to my stepdad, Michael. Um, Man, Michael came in completely different person. He was college graduate. He was CEO of his companies. Did like insurance auditing and private investigation work and
Mm.
things like that. So when my mom met him, it raised the bar. It raised the bar. Like he had some bread. He did good
Yeah.
for himself. But like he didn't grow up like he grew like I said he grew up in Philadelphia, and he didn't grow up with money or anything like that. He worked his butt off for what he had, and um, he carried that down to his kids. Like, well, mainly me. Out of all his kids, my sister Tyler was with her mom a lot, and then my brother was really young when he passed away. So
Mm.
I had him from 8 to 21,
Okay.
and so that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Um, he was right there all the time. Always told me like we would be riding. He would drive me to. He was the only dude I knew. We would be riding to school in a Lexus, and he have his seat leaned back with a tie on and everything like that. And we were listening to E. I remember it's a song on one of E's albums, and we were listening to like DMX and all the Rough Riders and everything like that. And so obviously my dad influenced my music. I'll
Yeah.
say that, and so that's cool. Um, but when he needs to button up and do business stuff, he did business stuff.
Mm.
Um, he would always. It was really weird. And I try to talk to Daniel like this, but I try not to do it all the time. But he always spoke on like in the situation where he wasn't there.
Mm.
Like, hey, this is how you do this. One day I'm not always gonna be here
Yeah.
to do this. Like, this is how you need to move, and this is something you
Mm.
need to think about. And
Yeah.
he was always giving me game as far as that stuff goes. And like I'm forever indebted because there's probably not a day that goes by that I don't think about something he's told me.
Mm.
He taught me how to shave. He taught me how to drive. He taught me about girls. Everything you could think of that your dad could do, he was there for me.
That's
And
dope.
like as a man taking on another man's child, he never treated me different. He
Mm.
always treated me like super good, even probably when I didn't deserve it. And my mom would tell him, "Don't buy him those Jordans." He bought me the Jordans. I woke up with the Space Jams when they were out.
Oh dang.
And
Yeah.
so like, man, yeah, I can't say I wanted for anything with
Yeah.
him. He was the first person to put a stack in my hand and said, like, count that.
Mm.
And I counted it for him. And he's like, that's what hard work gets you. Remember that. Now hand that back. Now hand that back. And so he just showed me a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I, my brother, he passed away. My brother, his son was 10. And so my brother doesn't have too many memories of him
Mm.
other than pictures. And now we got some home videos
Yeah.
that he was always taking that are on YouTube now. It's really cool.
Oh, that's
But I try to tell my brother certain things about him and everything like that because we were really close. I remember when him and my mom did divorce or whatever. It was my senior year of high school. Man, we had a nice crib. We had a pool, a basketball court, and all that. And my senior year, we had to move because they were getting divorced. And man, I was hurt because
yeah.
I had plans for that house for my senior year. But my mom, one day he called me up, and he was at my brother's basketball practice. He's like, hey, come over here, meet me at your brother's practice to pick him up. I'm like, okay. So my mom dropped me off. And we walked out, and he was like, here, I got you a car. And my mom was like, after that, my mom was like, he only got you that car to make up for having to move during your senior year. And so he was like, I wasn't tripping. That was my first car, man. It was a
Yeah.
Mitsubishi your lunch. I was like, yeah, let's ride. We got some wheels now. We rolling. And so, but no matter what, and this was real big with my parents. No matter what, uh, even though they would have their own relationship issues, they never like changed up as far as their parenting style. They were
Mm.
always like in coordination with what they wanted to do with me, my brother, and my sister, and things like that. And so, like, I greatly respect that about how they like went about their relationship even after being divorced.
And
Um,
I think that's dope too because it sounds like because even when they separated, it sounds like he was still being around. He was still being like a father where, you know, a lot of times, right? Unfortunately, it's like, oh, I'm not with her no more. I'm just gonna either focus on my kid that I had with her or I'm not even gonna like be bothered, right? So that's
yeah,
dope, bro.
it was. I mean, I had a key to his house up until like he got sick, and he passed away a lot longer ago too.
Yeah.
But I had a key to his house when he got really sick. He had lupus,
Mm,
and so when he eventually like that like really affects your immune system and everything like that. It dropped. He got into an accident in his house. He fell through a window, got cut
dang.
up, got some infections, and so lupus impacts your immune system. So since his immune system was so low, the infections got real bad, and he ended up passing away at the hospital. But like days before that, I was there with him, and yeah, man, that's not a really good. That's not a good, I guess, disease, or I'm not exactly sure autoimmune disease that it
Yeah.
is. That's not something to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it took my dad from us. But I say that also, I was not his biological son by any means, and I was still in his will. I still he still looked out for me like
Mm,
as far as that stuff goes, and so that was huge for us and our family.
yeah.
A lot of people were like, "What?" But we knew what it was inside, like our own little family.
Mm.
Um, it was
Now,
good. It was
were
good.
people tripping now? Because I can only imagine. I'm sure, you know, it was something that wasn't easy to, I guess, grieve from. Right? Was like, was it how? I guess, how long did it take you to kind of be able to get? And maybe you know, maybe it's one of those things. I don't know. I haven't experienced it, but maybe it's one of those things where you don't really fully heal or fully recover from it. Like, how have you been? Or at that age, because you was 21, so like from 21 to now, like I guess how were you able to process it at that moment?
Man, it's crazy. So I've lost a few significant people in my life. I've lost both my dad's grandparents. My biological father's grandparents are both gone. My biological father's gone. My sister Tyler, that I mentioned, my stepsister, she passed away in 2015. That was sudden.
Mm,
That was like a week before that. She was at my house in San Antonio with Daniel. He was like a baby in 15, and the day after Christmas passed away.
wow.
Um, and so when my dad passed away and I was 21, I still had no idea on what I wanted to do. Crazy thing is getting out of high school, my dad would tell me like, "Hey, I need you to give me a list of 10 things that you want to do like out of high school. Like what professions are you looking at?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm not. I'm just going to school right now. I'm trying to figure out this college thing. I got some freedom. I got a little job, so I got a little money in my pocket. I'm not thinking about no careers right now, bro. I'm barely 18." And he would always tell me this stuff, and I would just blow it off like, "I'm not getting you that, man. I'm not. We're not doing that." I'd go over his house. I would hate going over his house because he would always ask me that stuff, like, "What are you doing with yourself?" And
Mm,
at 21, I still did not know what I was doing with myself. Like I didn't know. I was working for the city of Irving in Dallas, working their after school program with kids, and then before that, I was substitute teach a little bit and at the school right next to the rec I worked at, and I was going to school, taking classes, not really at community college, not really doing anything.
yeah.
Um, and when that happened, I lost like all my direction as far as like,
Mm,
man, what am I gonna do now? Like I
yeah.
just it threw me off, and losing those people, like it doesn't get easier. Like I think about like I have a necklace in my car with my dad and my sister on it, and I think about them every day. I talk to the necklace like it's like they're there.
Yeah.
I feel their presence around me like that.
Mm.
Words that like I said earlier, like my dad's words stick with me all the time, just because he ingrained him not being there and me being prepared for that so much. And when he wasn't there, I was not prepared still. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
And it's taken a long time to like really be like understanding of that. Um, and then when my sister passed, it was like a whole visitation of that. And so that was really hard. That was really hard. I did not understand it. I didn't understand what grieving was and how to do all that. Like, he was probably the first person like that I really lost that was huge in my life, and it's never been replaced. Like, I still think about my dad all the time. I love my mom's husband now, Daryl. He's like, when we lost Michael, he's really stepped up for my brother and like raised him like he was his own, just like Michael did me. And I'm forever grateful for that because I love my brother. And it's really unfortunate that his dad was taken away so early. But Daryl has done an amazing job with Chris and setting him up. And there are things that Daryl does that he would have never learned from his father.
Yeah.
My dad was not a mechanical person. He was like, take it to the shop. I'm not doing it. We're not doing that. Or he was like, my dad wasn't a big like cooker at home.
Yeah.
He was like, let's go to the restaurant. Let's go to Papacitos. Let's go somewhere nice to go eat. And Daryl, like, hey, this is how you cook steak. This is how you marinate your meat and all this other stuff. Like, and he does all that stuff with my brother. So my brother's a great cook. He knows certain things.
That's dope.
All because of his stepdad, our stepdad Daryl. And so, but yeah, man, losing my dad was not a great thing. It was not. It was hard. I always like think about like there's a certain song I play by Wiz Khalifa. It's called Cameras. Every time I've like done something really good in my life and stuff like that, whether it be I get a promotion at work or whatnot, I always play that song and think about my dad because there's a part in there where it talks about people who aren't there or whatever. And so I always think about that. It makes me happy and stuff like that. But I know like he sees what I do and stuff like that. But had he been here, I would have never joined the Air Force.
Really?
Yeah, he had to play for me to do what he did. I just like was like so standoffish about it at that time. But I would have never joined the military. Which is crazy.
So what is it that he was trying to set up for you at that time?
Okay, both my dads went to prison. At one time, Michael went to prison on some like white collar stuff.
Okay.
And this is why voting matters and donating to candidates matters, is because luckily he had his companies and he was able to donate to certain campaigns and things like that. And so when you do that, sometimes you might need those people to reach back out and ask for letters for certain things. And so luckily my grandmother, his mom, and my dad knew some people in high places in Texas, and they pulled some strings and worked that out, and he didn't have to do his whole time, which was a blessing. I remember coming home one day and he was just sitting there, and I'm like, yo, what the heck? And so it was good. But man, where were we going with that?
Basically, just basically because you wasn't thinking about the military. You was more so like, hey, like
the play, right?
Or your dad, your other dad, right? He was setting it up for you that he wanted you to, I guess, do the business or whatever he had set up.
He wanted me to do that. He would always talk to me about it, or just he's like, you need to go to school so you can become legit, because once he got out of prison, he couldn't do that anymore.
Gotcha.
But he still knew the business and how it all worked and everything like that. And so that was really cool. I just didn't know. I don't know if I would have been like really engaged in something like that. I'd have been about the bread, but I wouldn't have been. I don't know if I would have been about just the business aspect of it. But I'm sure it's changed a lot now.
Yeah.
My uncle actually does it, and he's done really well. I mean, it could work out. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll get in it with my uncle after I get out of the military.
Hey, yeah, you know, good. So
But
I was gonna ask you too then. So like, just from just you talking about like the perspective, um, just basically the dynamic of your family and different things, right? So how has like your perspective on family, I guess, been influenced by your upbringing, right? Because I feel like you would have a unique like thought process on family, where some people might it might be more so like cookie cutter type of thing, but from what you experience, I feel like you might have a whole different like meaning or understanding to it type of thing. Because I'm looking at too like you know like you have such a unique like upbringing and family background, right? Like to the point where like because you have you have your dad's side, your biological dad's side, right? And then I'm sure you know like um, Michael, his side as well, right? So it's like and I'm thinking like especially from your dad Michael, like I'm looking at like he's from Philly, right? Upbringing, and he's black. So I just have an image in my head like okay, like he was one of them. You know what I mean? Like one of them dudes like he's gonna carry. He's about his business. He's not showing you on disrespect, but he's gonna also help you out if need be. But I guess from people I know from Philly, I know how they kind of move. You know what I mean? Like they gonna handle business. So I'm just looking at it like that, bro. Like how I guess your perspective on family and things like that.
man, yeah, it's very different. I do have a huge family. It's very different dynamics all the way around. I don't think. I think I'll start with my biological father's family. They're all really close. Unfortunately, um, once that alcohol gets flowing, man, not everybody gets along,
Yeah.
and that kind of like has been an Achilles heel. But when it comes to the love that I feel with my family, um, everybody, it's always love. Everybody's always uh, super nice. Like I have an aunt who's like the matriarch of our family now.
Yeah.
Super respectful, super sweet, always looking out for her siblings. I always asked her like when we were going through this stuff with my dad, as far as like when he got to the end of when he got to the end of his life, like how is she? Why is she? I don't know how she does it, and she just always tells me, "Well, I promised my dad I would look after the family
Mm.
when he passed away." And so she took that role and she's taken it to heart in every kind of way. And like, no matter what beefs you have in internal on the family, like nobody's gonna deny how amazing my aunt is, and I love and respect her so much. Um, and so that's how that side works. My mom's side, uh, the Pena side, they are super religious, super Christian. We grew up like, man, I grew up in the church like Sunday morning, Sunday school, Sunday service, Sunday night, Wednesday service, Friday Bible study, Saturday we're doing something with the youth group, all that stuff, and then right back on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
So like, that's how we were raised. I have cousins that were deacons in the church and everything like that. Um, I was never. It's crazy because I never felt like I was like in that crowd because my parents were divorced.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like we didn't have me and my mom didn't have a lot of money a lot of the time, and so we weren't always like we listened to uh, the the non Christian music all
Yeah.
the time and stuff like that, and so I never like felt like I was completely in that crowd or I was like the black sheep as far as like some of that
Mm.
stuff goes. They never treated me like that or
Yeah,
anything like that.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it was always different, and so like I saw things from a different perspective than a lot of them. Like I wasn't in a sheltered family
Yeah.
lifestyle. I know how things could get, how arguments could get, and things like that. I have vivid memories of getting in between my parents and separating them. Um, but my family is they're very Christian, churchy, not like your normal typical Hispanic family. They're churchy, but like non-denominational churches,
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
and stuff like that, um, which is cool. Like everybody's grown now. It feels like everybody's getting old now. My birthday's in a couple weeks. I'll be 40 years old,
Damn, that's
and
a
so
blessing.
like it is a blessing. It is a blessing. Um, but they're good people. Everybody. Um, my grandfather lives with my cousin now. My grandma and my grandpa live with my cousin. I was literally just on FaceTime, like a family FaceTime call with them last night. It was crazy. My grandpa lost all his front teeth,
Oh,
and
damn.
he had his dentures in, so he looked crazy. And he looked like he just kept on biting his, licking his lips and tongue and stuff like that, just like the bitter beer face all the time. And so that was that side, and then my stepdad's family. Uh, I think a lot of stuff, they were all in the business with my dad and my grandmother and things like that. And I think a lot of that might have rubbed them the wrong way, which kind of like I shouldn't do business with family all the time like that,
Mm.
because money and deals and all that stuff can like really impact people. And that's one thing that my dad did tell me, like, be careful who you get when you get, if you ever get the opportunity to give money to family, don't ever expect it back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever expect it back. Try to limit your interactions with money with family, in my opinion.
No,
So,
my grandfather told me the same thing. So I definitely agree with you with that. And then I just wanted to share too, just for those that's listening, because like you said, like man, you didn't necessarily listen to, you know, I guess Christian music all the time or something like that. But I think that's like the difference between, at least for me, in my opinion, like there's a difference between religion and then relationship, right? And so like
yeah,
as long as you have a relationship, not saying excusing like oh just wild out, but at the same time, I think people get so caught up in trying to follow the rules, right? Quote unquote, instead of really trying to like build a relationship with God. Because if you, and when people like, that's something I've been learning. I've been like on this journey reading and stuff. But what I've been realizing is like a lot of people will know the quotes, right? The scriptures, but they don't know the context, right?
mm-hmm.
So they'll tell you one part of it, but they won't tell you the other part. Like, wait, hold on, this was actually important. Like, you forgot to say that happened after, right? So
Yeah,
it's just different things like that, man. But again, like you said, to each his own. Everyone's trying to,
for sure.
find their own journey, find their own peace and stuff. But yeah, I wanted to say that as well. And then because I actually I have a few more stuff I want to dive into, right? So
Okay.
this is gonna be part one, y'all. Part one. And I'm gonna do it part two. I'm gonna drop that the following week. So before I go, y'all. Well, one, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. You got time? You got time for me for another?
I got time, bro.
Okay, okay. So,
Good.
again, y'all, I appreciate you guys like always, like always. You don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. See you guys on the next one.